Hey, what's going on out there, Atlanta Falcon fans? Y'all know who it is, man. It's your boy Antoine Smitty Smith. And I'm about to get into this quick discussion from Puka Nacua. He was on an interview, and it was something intriguing that he said that intrigued me because uh he thinks Julio Jones is the best wide receiver of all time. And he made some very solid points. But it's just more to me, it's just more to it than just physical ability. And that's what he loved about Julio, and that's what all Falcon fans loved about Julio. We knew he was a beast. We knew he was one of those guys that could change the game. And they traded up in the draft for him, and they paid a good penny, and they got a good investment on that. But right quick, man, let's listen to this interview because I want to know y'all comments on this.
I had a question. Who's your GOAT receiver of all time?
Julio Jones.
Julio Jones,
yeah,
really? Okay.
He's my favorite. I'm like the perfect mixture of like size and speed. Like he could run every route.
6'3", 225.
Size.
Built like a tank.
I think he kind of rotated between playing X and Z, but something about it was like, man, that should be the prototype for every wide receiver. Like if you want to have a wide receiver body, it should look like Julio Jones.
And he was on Atlanta, no? Was Atlanta? Yeah.
Atlanta. I think he finished up with the Eagles.
Also played with the Titans and Bucks.
He would prime Julio like 2016, like when the Patriots had that comeback win, like Julio Jones probably would have won Super Bowl MVP if the Patriots didn't win. Like he was.
I don't agree with that. Like, Ray Jarrett had 3 sacks in the game, so I think he was MVP.
How crazy was
Don't
that?
get me started.
Oof.
Tom Brady's my GOAT.
Yeah, he loves Tom
And Randy
Brady.
Moss is my GOAT.
Randy Moss, different type beast.
Randy Moss is hard to beat, but I'm like, maybe it's because I've only seen highlights of Randy Moss and never got to see him play. Where it's like it's two different things. Like when you get to see somebody live play and be like, yo, there's no chance. Like, I've seen Julio Jones make the most unreal catches and be like, I've seen Randy Moss make unreal catches, but it's also just the highlight time. I'm supposed to see.
You actually watched it in person, him like just like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You feel the vibes of the game, the energy, like how it all works out. It's not just like, oh, I'm just saying like, oh, the first down clip of them throwing a bomb to Randy Moss and he catches it. It's like, all right, how else did the rest of the game go?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. He made excellent points about why he liked Julio Jones. Physical specimen, 6'3", 225. Like I said, he's built like a tank. He had wide receiver skills. He ran like a slot receiver. He ran 4.4 with a broke foot at the combine. You look at hands, his hands were decent. He did have a good little bit of drops. You looking at his all-time best games. We talk about a guy that had 4 games over 250 yards. One of those games was 300 yards by the Carolina Panthers against the Carolina Panthers. And honestly, if you just look at what they paid for him, it's just a pretty penny with that trade, man. And you get an investment like this, you got to find a way to keep him around. Now, he did sign him to his last contract, 3 years, $66 million. $22 million a year made him one of the highest paid receivers in the league, but his production just wasn't there like it usually was. I'm going to show y'all his stats right quick. That's what I'm going to do for y'all right quick. I'm going to show y'all his stats. You look at his numbers. You're looking at the numbers right on the screen. Right about now, there they are. You look at his numbers, man. Dominant career. He had 4 seasons where he averaged over 100 yards a game and 82.5 at one point. That was 95.5 yards a game with the Falcons, and that was top of NFL history. And if you look at the last 3 years, he's barely averaging 30 yards a game. So these stats, man, you look at a nearly MVP type season in 2015, the year before the Super Bowl, 136 catches, 1871, 8 touchdowns, 13 yards a catch, 116 yards a game. And he was in the Offensive Player of the Year conversation. And when you have a guy like this that's 6'3", 225 putting up these kind of numbers, I think if he stayed in Atlanta, he actually would have been higher up on lists. And I'm going to throw some stats at y'all right quick. And you look at his numbers, catches, yards, touchdowns, yards per game. Catches, 914, ranked 27th all time. 13,703 receiving yards, 16th all time. Touchdowns is where it gets tough because we have so many receivers over 100 touchdowns. This is where he falls short in the greatest all-time conversation because a lot of people talk about numbers. And he's tied for 61st with 66 touchdowns. Now, the saving grace is Michael Irvin, even though he had a neck injury, he had 65 touchdown passes. He has more catches and more yards than Michael Irvin, who won 3 Super Bowls. And at the end of the day, those Super Bowls count with your legacy and against you not being top 10. And that's the way just people think. And like I said, 82.5 yards a game, that's 5th all time. But at one point, he was at 95.5. And Justin Jefferson at 96.5 in his first 5 seasons. So he could blow the top number out of the water by the time he's done. But he talked about size and how he ran routes. You look at guys like Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald. I can even throw in Marvin Harrison. I just think those guys, to me, stat-wise, are better than Julio. But when you talk about freakish athletes, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Julio Jones, DK Metcalf, I can go on and on. Terrell Owens. But when you talk about freakish wide receivers, he's definitely top 5. He could be top 3 because there's nothing he couldn't do. And with a quarterback like Matt Ryan, who to me, they're one of the better duos of all time, but their touchdowns don't reflect it because of the scheme they were running. And sometimes I think Matt Ryan just didn't want to take control of the offense and, do his thing with Julio. But if Julio was on a team with a Joe Montana, a Brett Favre, or John Elway or something like that back in the day, Julio Jones and Jerry Rice would probably be neck and neck when it comes to stats. It's all about your situation. It's all about the scheme. It's all about the quarterback. And those guys with those rocket arms, Julio would have been a beast in any era. So I agree with Puka Nacua in some aspects, but when it comes to numbers, Julio is just not there. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be a Hall of Famer at the end of the day because I just feel like he's one of those guys, man, where he contributed to the game. It was just unmatched. In those 4 games over 250 yards, nobody else has more than 2, I think. So he did what he was supposed to do. But I just feel like his numbers make him fall short of being the best receiver all the time, but freakish athletes all the time because we talk about a guy who could have played safety, could have played tight end, but he was a running back. I'm sorry, a wide receiver, and he did his damn job well, man. But let me know what y'all think, man. Is Julio top 5, top 10 all time to y'all, or is Puka Nacua just reaching? It was just his honest opinion. Give me y'all opinion. Drop those comments. Let's debate. Let's have fun as always, man. Y'all know how we do it on the Sports Machine. It's your boy Antoine Smitty Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.